Working in pharmacy can be stressful. It doesn't matter what role you play, whether that's a pharmacist, a pharmacy tech, an intern, or a resident, the job can quickly lead to stress and overwhelm every single day. So what can you do during your shift in order to mitigate some of that stress that you may be experiencing? Well, that is what today's episode is all about answering. I'm about to give you 5 different strategies that you may be able to implement when you're experiencing an extra stressful shift at work. Strategy number 1 is relaxing breathing techniques. I know that I've talked about these in different aspects throughout my content before, but I bring them up again because they are very beneficial. In fact, one of the strategies I'm about to talk to you about is even used by the Navy SEALs. And that strategy is called box breathing. Navy SEALs and even pharmacists and pharmacy workers like you can use this strategy whenever you need to calm your mind. It is a really good way to refocus away from whatever is stressing you out and really focus in on the task that needs to be done. Box breathing is rather simple. You can put your hand on your chest or your belly if you want to, but you don't have to do that. So if you're standing at the counter trying to fill and you just need a moment, you can breathe in for 4, hold that breath for 4, breathe out for 4, and then hold again for 4 before breathing in. And you can repeat that cycle a few different times. In, hold, out, hold. You can do counts of 4. You can do different counts if you want to. 4 is the most common. This strategy works, and that is why people like the Navy SEALs use it. The other strategy I recommend that is also very simple that you can do while you're standing at the counter or while you are sitting at your computer verifying orders, and that is to do belly breaths or belly breathing. This is also called abdominal breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. There's several different names for it. But essentially, when we normally breathe, we are breathing just air shallowly into our chest. And if you do belly breathing, you're breathing more into your gut, deeper into the lungs. Now, as healthcare workers, we obviously know we're not breathing air into our gut, but our abdomen will extend if we're doing this correctly. So you breathe in deeply, usually through your nose, hold that breath in your belly, make your belly expand. You can even sip in some additional air to try to make your belly expand even more. And then when you're ready, you can breathe out. The thing I love about both of these strategies is not only are they proven to work and impact your nervous system to calm you down, but they're very easy to do, and you can do them without anybody even realizing that that is something you're doing. You can do that while you're just walking around the pharmacy or standing or sitting at your desk, and it's very, very simple. My next recommendation is for those of you who do get a lunch, and that is to rest during your lunch break. Now, I know that many of you listening probably don't get a real lunch break, and that is incredibly unfortunate, and I will continue to be one of those pharmacists that advocates for people to get lunch breaks whenever possible. And I understand that maybe you don't get one every day. I've had extremely busy days in my jobs, even recently, where I did not get a lunch break or maybe didn't get a full lunch break where I grabbed a bite and ate at my desk, and that's not ideal. But when you do get a lunch break, or if you can fit in a lunch break, truly resting during your lunch break can help reduce stress. Because most people on their lunch break, they do the thing where they scroll through their phone. I like to call it doom scrolling, so they just look at a bunch of stuff on Instagram and TikTok, and they just scroll their lunch away. When you do that, not only are you possibly adding stress because who knows what you're seeing, and a lot of the stuff that you see online can be stress-inducing, but you're also running into this situation where you're not giving your mind a chance to relax. And so much of what pharmacists do is very cognitive. You use your brain a lot, so giving it a break and a rest to do something just a little bit more relaxing can help. So what things can you do to truly relax and reset on your lunch break? One of my favorite ones that I've been doing recently is getting some sunshine. So on nice days where I am able to go outside, we have a garden, I will go set out in the garden and just enjoy being outside. The garden is very small and there's just a couple of trees and a few flowers, but it is nicer than just being inside the hospital cafeteria. And on days where I don't have the ability to go outside because let's say it's pouring down rain, I might go find a table next to a window instead of sitting in the middle of the cafeteria where I'm not going to get to see at least some sunlight or the raindrops hitting the window. If you have the ability to go for a quick walk, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, just getting some movement and exercise might be helpful if you're in a job where you are sitting or standing a lot and not actually getting active movement. And walking can improve your mood as well. So I have had other moments where I just knew I needed to walk on my lunch break and it was raining, so I just did a lap in the hospital and kept on going. Some other things you can do is eat a little bit more slowly so it takes a while, take a bite, put your fork down, just focus on eating instead of trying to multitask and do 3 or 4 different things during your break. You can listen to music while you eat lunch and just enjoy music from people that you like that make you happy. And another thing I like to do is read. I know this is still a little bit cognitive, but I get a lot of enjoyment from reading. So if I do get a lunch break, even if I'm only able to read 3 or 4 pages in the book, I enjoy being able to read during my lunch break too. Strategy number 3 is positive affirmations. Saying a positive affirmation can completely change your mindset in a single moment. These affirmations are really good to ground you and remind you of the things that are most important to you and change how you feel in a specific situation. Some positive affirmations that I've heard of people using that work really well is something like, everything is figure-outable, or something as simple as, I've got this. When I was a resident, one of the things that I adopted was, this is a great learning opportunity, and I said that anytime I was going through a difficult or stressful situation. Sometimes it came across as a joke and I was a bit sarcastic about it, but for the most part it was true. Having an affirmation in your back pocket to pull out whenever you're having a difficult situation can be a good way to just reset and reframe whatever situation you're in. If you have a assigned workspace, you can put your positive affirmation in a place that's visible to you on your desk or wherever you work. And if you don't have that situation, maybe you can change the background of your computer or your phone to have this positive affirmation. So whenever you're having a hard day, you see it pop up and it makes you reset and think, you know what, everything's gonna be fine. Now, sometimes those positive affirmations just aren't gonna cut it. It's been too bad of a day. Too much has happened. Positive affirmations just went out the window. And so the next one is one that I think is hard for sometimes pharmacists to do because we're required to be in the pharmacy. That is just walking away for a moment. Removing yourself from the situation that is causing you stress, even if it's just for a minute or two, helps you reset. I've said that word reset several times, so I want to kind of bring it back to what I mean by that. And I'm going to use a computer example. So when your computer has all these windows open and it's starting to slow down and you're trying to close out and things are not responding, what do? I hit Control Alt Delete, try to get Task Manager to work. If Task Manager doesn't work, I reset my computer. I shut all those windows down and I start all over again. And so this reset, this removing yourself from the situation, can help you kind of close out all of those mental windows in your mind so you can walk back into that same situation with a fresh start. So I've had times where I needed a reset, I needed to just step out, and so I just went to the bathroom for 2 minutes, just actually took a bathroom break, went to the bathroom, washed my hands, came back, and I felt just a little bit better. Depending on where you work, maybe you can do a lap around the pharmacy or go get coffee or grab a snack. There were multiple times at night whenever I was working by myself where I'm I just need to go downstairs and grab something to drink. And that's what I would do. And that 5 to 10 minutes away from the pharmacy was so helpful in just allowing me to breathe, allowing me to release some of that stress that I'd been holding on to, pick up a little snack or a treat that I enjoyed. Whenever you go through this process of removing yourself from a situation, you can also do some of those breathing exercises that I talked about earlier as you walk and as you stand in line to grab a coffee or a drink. That just adds to your ability to really reset and reframe your mindset before walking back in a situation that you know is going to be stressful. And strategy number 5 is to incorporate fun things into work to relieve your stress and sometimes even prevent it. So one of the things we've incorporated into my workplace is the screaming goat button. You heard me right, screaming goat button. And I wish I would have brought it with me, but it's in my office. It was something I bought on Amazon because we have a lot of moments where you're just ready to scream and you're overwhelmed and you're just what in the world? If you've worked at investigational drug service pharmacy, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just get things that are totally off the wall where everybody decides they want to start a new study in the same week and you're just extremely stressed. And when you feel all of that anxiety blow up, instead of you blowing up yourself, you press the screaming goat button. And there's a goat screaming and everybody laughs. Everybody feels a little bit better and it totally changes the morale. I will admit that over time the screaming goat button's efficacy does wane, but we still get a laugh out of it every time we hit it. Another thing that was incorporated into a previous workplace was memes in the pharmacy huddle emails. Some of the memes were like related to the specific holiday it was, or what kind of shift they had, or just like funny pharmacy memes that somebody found and wanted to share. It's a very lighthearted thing, but then people, number one, were excited to open their huddle emails, which can be a stressful thing because that usually means there's like things that you need to worry about. But two, it just gave people something to like smile and laugh at during their shift. Other things that can help with this prevention or relief of stress is scheduling some type of themed carry-in or a fun day for the crew that you're working with. I know we always got excited about having a themed carry-in, so even if we have a rough week, we're like, well, at the end of the week, you know, we're having that Super Bowl party, or at the end of the week, we're celebrating Shark Week. I mean, food just makes everything better, right? But in all seriousness, it's just fun to have something that can bring people together and people can enjoy. If this is something that makes you excited, you're like wondering what kind of things you can do with that, I recommend reading the book Do It Well, Make It Fun. It is one of those books that you can read a couple different times and find a new way to incorporate more fun into your daily workspace, not just in the pharmacy in your workflow, but in how you do presentations or send emails or just hold yourself. I feel like sometimes in pharmacy we get so focused on being professional that we forget to be human, and those human moments and the joy that you can get out of still working is often what's missing in a workplace. So bringing some of that in can help prevent stress or make you find ways to laugh through the stress instead of just holding it all in. Because when you bottle it all in, it makes it harder to move past it when you come in the next day because you still have some of that bottled up, and then it starts to grow and grow and grow until you can't handle it anymore. These are all things you can do in the moment or prevent so it does not escalate and move even further. But I still think it's good to have something to fall back on when you come home. So if you haven't checked out my free self-care ebook, it has 100 different ideas that are designed for healthcare workers to incorporate more self-care in their life. You can find something in there to have as your reset routine when you have a difficult day at work. Like I said before, it's completely free, so you can go to happyfarmlife.com/self-care and get access to that ebook today. I always hope that you don't have difficult shifts, but I know the reality of working in a pharmacy, and the fact is you're probably going to have a few of them. And so when you do, I hope some of these strategies can help you overcome those difficult shifts and make you feel just a little bit more at ease when you're working in the pharmacy. With that, thank you all for watching or listening, and until next time, keep on living your happy farm life. Bye!